literally in my garden. And I was going to pop on yesterday, but had a little family thing come up. And so I had a long drive. I had a 3 hour each way to a family member. My son had emergency surgery, so I had to get in the car and go help. And that was great to see him. But it was a long drive, and it gave me a lot of time to think about things. And one of the things that has been a recurring theme for me, especially as a gardener, but I like to apply our life experience in what we're doing to what's that internal state of being. And so for the last 4 years, I've had a vegetable garden, and every single year I plant things intentionally, and when they don't come up in the timeline that I think they should come up, I lose faith, and I start to have that internal dialogue that I did something wrong, I'm not good enough, the squirrels stole them. And so this year in particular, I had a little bit of an obsession with cucumbers. And I planted some cucumber seeds at the exact time that you're supposed to where I live. And I watered them, I talked to them, I did all the things, and nothing was happening. And I was starting to get that lack of faith in my ability, lack of faith in the process, in the cucumber's own timeline to do her things, right? And so I found myself at the garden center buying cucumber starts because my seeds weren't coming up, and I was starting to have a little bit of uncertainty and panic. Like, we're just talking cucumbers, but stay with me. So I planted some cucumber starts, 4 or 5 inches tall. Literally within a couple days of planting the cucumber starts, seeds start to come up through the ground. And because I had no faith in the cucumbers, the first round I added more seeds to the same spot. And then I decided, well, maybe the cucumbers don't like coming up in that spot, so I put some over in this spot. And then they didn't come up, so I put a cucumber start where the seeds were. And now, because I had no faith in the process, I had no faith in my ability, I had no faith in the cucumber itself, I now have 17 cucumber plants. 17. They're all over the place. So as I was driving, I was thinking about, where do I not have faith in other areas of my life? Where do I panic and hit the panic button and then go and do something impulsive because I don't have faith in the process? And the last year and a half of my hip replacement saga has really asked me to have faith in my medical team, in my body's ability to heal, in the people around me that are helping me. And yet I still struggle with having faith in the process. And I've come a long way. Like this year, back to the garden, I put green beans in the perfect row, knowing that the squirrels are going to rearrange them. They're going to come up wherever. And sure enough, I've got green beans over here. That's not even a veggie garden. I've got some green beans in the yard. And I'm just allowing that. I don't wish, because the cucumber lack of faith was a good reminder to me that everything has a process. And if we go into our life choices, our actions, our thoughts, our words with intention, and we trust the process, it will always work out. It may not work out exactly how we envision it, which is why expectations are so often a disappointment. And so not having the expectation that it's going to come up, my cucumber are going to come out of the ground in 2 weeks, but letting them come up when they want to come up, when it's time for them to come up, was really a lesson for me. And as I apply that to my life, I'm thinking, well, I have to have faith in this whole process with my hip and continue to have faith. I have to have faith in myself to be able to discern what's the best treatment plan going forward, to be able to have faith in my ability to pivot my career, not having, the thing that I have had for 18 years, and just being able to change that is a huge testament in faith, because nothing stays the same, right? So I can't expect my job to always be the same. I have to have faith in my ability to take my knowledge, my experience, my wisdom, my passion, my purpose, and evolve it. And so the cucumbers, the beautiful gift of my cucumbers is I'll have a lot of pickles, but I'll also be reminded that things grow in their own time. Things evolve in their own time. Things come to bloom in their own time. And I am just part of this great big process that is a little cucumber seed blooming in my own time. It's it's not up to me. I can be in my thoughts, choice, words, and actions and have intention in what I do, but there is a greater source, universe, that is inviting me to just have faith in the process. So every time I water my cucumbers, I'm reminded to have faith in the process. When we're in a challenge, it's really hard to have faith in the process and to envision a bigger picture. I had no idea that a simple everyday procedure like a hip replacement could turn into what it has turned into. And I can look at it that way and be like, all the laundry list of negative things that this experience has brought, or I can look at it this way and see all of the beauty that has come in the last 18 months. And there's an evolving in me, not just in my career, but in my way of being. I'm way more balanced. I'm way more relaxed. I have way more joy in my life because I have more space to have joy. And so initially that stunning moment where you realize this isn't working, the seeds aren't coming up, you have that choice to either do something impulsive, go buy more cucumbers, or just pause and give space for faith to show up. And so the cucumbers that I look at, there's another one in the rocks, I realize have been a great testament to having faith in the process and just continuing to give them love, give them water, give them what they need to grow, and in turn giving myself what I need to grow, giving myself the space to grow when I'm ready to grow, and to have the faith that everything is going to work out, even when it looks like nothing's happening. Lots is happening underneath the surface. And I have to remember that the seeds that are in the soil, they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. I couldn't see it. And so because I couldn't see it, I thought they were not growing. I didn't have faith. And maybe I don't see what's happening in my life. I can't put my finger exactly on why this is happening and where my life is going. But I can have faith that underneath the surface, good things are coming. Good things, great things are coming. And so I'm having faith in that. And I'm looking at my cucumber teachers, and I'm reminded every single day to have faith in the process. So that's my garden wisdom of the day. Isn't it beautiful? It's Colorado time, about 9 o'clock. So my yard is mostly shady because of this giant tree. And then as the sun comes around my house, I get this huge burst of afternoon sun this way. And so this bed does get a lot of sunshine. Probably would benefit from more sunshine. But again, like, I love my tree, I love the ivy, I love the shade that she gives me in the afternoon. So it's a trade-off. But this garden has become amazing source of joy for me. And last week in my initial garden chat, we were talking about how when my mom lived in this home, she had the mindset that she had to go water, that it was a chore and something that she had to do. And I really think of this taking care of nurturing this space as something that I get to do, that it's such a blessing and a privilege. And so as I hold the hose and I spray everything, it's just pure love. And when she comes to visit, she's just amazed that nothing like this ever grew for my mom. And I 100% believe that it was because of the energy behind her intention. Her energy behind her intention was negative. She didn't want to be watering and gardening and toiling and pulling weeds. Whereas the energy that I have is that it's a blessing and I'm grateful, and it's something that's a privilege for me to do. So I know the sound was really off last week. I was over there in the statue garden. I probably didn't have great service. So that's what I got for you. What do we get to do? And having faith in the process, trying not to put the outcome out there and the expectation that it's going to look a certain way. My green beans are everywhere and my cucumbers are going to be everywhere, and that's not what I envisioned when I planned my garden this spring. I have a little template that I plug in all my little plants that I'm going to plant, and so I gotta let that go. I gotta let it go and just have faith that the cucumbers are gonna do what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna have an abundance of cucumbers, and I'm gonna learn how to make pickles, and all is well. All is well here in the beautiful garden. So I'll pop in again, maybe in a few days, maybe next week, for another garden chat. And be sure to ask questions. You can ask them in the community post. What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? Gardening, mindful living, yoga, challenges. I'm up for anything. And I think it's cool that we can have this community to do this. And I have a new chair yoga practice coming up. It's actually a repurposed one. It's one of my most popular ones. And I just kind of tweaked it a little bit, but it's a good video. And then be sure to look below at all of my things, because I have some neat things coming. I've got some digital content that is being refreshed and redone, and just going back and really looking at things that I'm passionate about and educating people on those things and all the good things. So I'm baking, I'm gardening, I'm finding joy, I'm working a little bit, and I'm having faith in the process, because as long as my thoughts, words, and actions are aligned with love, all good things happen, right? Aligned with love, and this happens. Aligned with love, and who knows what's going to happen in my life, but it's going to be good because I have faith, thanks to my cucumbers. All right, friends, I'll see you next week, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you know when I'm popping on, so that you can ask questions. And I will see you all when I see you. Ooh, another strawberry's ready to pick. All right, see ya.